The pandemic has really underlined the necessity of fast, high-performing, affordable internet. But a full decade since Australia's national broadband network began, many Australians still don't have it. Here's Alison Bradley with part 2 of her report on the NBN.
And what colour are you having?
Light blue.
Light blue, okay. Since I've been studying and the kids are getting a little bit older, they're using much more data. They really love watching 5-minute crafts on the internet and YouTube and all of those sorts of fun things like making slimes. That's enough, is it?
I think so.
For the Sheehan family in Sydney's western suburbs, the internet is a source of information and entertainment.
It's working.
Oh, that's brilliant slime.
But getting access to high-speed broadband through the NBN is still a pipe dream for them.
At the moment, I'm using my mobile data, so I turn my hotspot on and then we connect up to all of our different devices. All right, I'm just going to turn on the Wi-Fi. I don't really have much of a choice but to do prepaid. So during the lockdown, the kids used a lot of data. So during that time, they were doing their homeschooling on the internet, watching a lot of Netflix. I'm doing a diploma in community services at the moment. I often have to say, no, you can't use my mobile data because I need it to finish my studies.
The cost of signing up to an NBN plan remains out of reach.
I looked into the NBN, but while I'm not working, it's very expensive.
And they're not the only ones being left behind. A government report on the cost of telecommunications has found that while NBN prices have fallen, low-income households still can't afford to sign up. 730 understands that's about 500,000 homes across the country. The report also found the way telcos bundle plans means those who can spend more get the best value for money, while low-income consumers who buy cheaper, low-data plans are therefore paying a higher cost per unit of data.
So what we find with people who are on prepaid is that they're paying what we call a poverty premium. So they're paying as they go, so they can afford it, but they're paying for a higher cost per data unit than somebody who can afford to pay for a lot more at one time.
Consumer advocate Teresa Corbyn has heard reports of people sitting outside fast food outlets and council buildings at night just to get access to free Wi-Fi.
Driving behind buses, we've even heard people doing. Recently we saw the long lines for Centrelink, and part of that reason was because people did not have a good broadband connection that they could actually connect and apply online.
The issue is really with NBN pricing, not the retailers.
The National Consumer Watchdog is in negotiations with NBN Co to offer some cheaper NBN plans.
They've gone up because the way NBN has structured its plans, it's tried to get people onto higher speeds. You're forced to move onto the NBN, you shouldn't have to pay more to do so.
We do work really closely with industry to make sure that the NBN is affordable.
The Australian Communications Consumer Action Network believes it's in the government's interest to subsidise no-frills NBN plans.
If people are offered a fixed broadband connection, then they're actually going to be able to access employment a lot easier, and they're also going to be able to access other services like telehealth and government services.
The government and the NBN say they're working on the problem.
Recently, NBN has introduced a new $35 wholesale price point. That's designed to allow retail service providers to offer a retail product at a $60 a month price point.
We were very excited at the thought of getting NBN in our place.
For those who can afford the NBN but need high-quality connections for work, like Joshua Lipovic, paying for an upgrade is also expensive.
I work in IT, mainly in infrastructure, managing networks and routing. During COVID, when everyone was home, we had 6 people on the internet at once. Unfortunately, it was quite limited.
Joshua rang NBN Co to ask about upgrading his household's NBN.
The quote was $10,000 to upgrade our NBN from fibre to the curb to fibre to the premises. $10,000 for 125 metres of cable. We were shocked.
In regional areas and outer metropolitan areas, this can be extremely expensive.
Joshua Lipovic is not alone. 730 has learned of customers with fibre to the node who've been quoted between $3,000 and $33,000 for upgrades.
If those people want to upgrade, unfortunately they have to pay extra. So that's, not equitable.
We're currently revising that program to look at ways that we can make it more readily available to more customers and bring those costs down.
Just over half of those who can get the NBN have signed up, with another 18 months until everyone must be on board. Whether it's paying for basic internet or the best of the best, many Australians still question if they got what they paid for.
As a taxpayer, I feel like we've been overpromised and under-delivered in a lot of areas.
There is a significant focus on making sure that NBN is affordable across all segments of the Australian community.
We're finding that a lot of people are in the same situation as me who can't afford it.
A new report has uncovered